have often wondered, how can it be that so many Pekka card readings can describe the exact same energy in my situation? And I can't logically rationalize it. That's why I started paying attention, taking notes and saving the ones that truly resonated with what was happening in my life. So I want to emphasize that I have no personal relationships with these tarot readers and have never paid these pick a card readings. I simply have a deep appreciation for certain readers, especially those I feel that are truly highly vibrational, and I know who is true and not. Not all are paid readers, and I tend to prefer pick a card readings because they seem more personal than general readings. And in my personal experience, general readings are where I have often seen signs of covert targeting. And while it is harder to insert targeted messages into a pick a card format, I have still seen a few that seem to try. So at one point, one of these readings told me that people were lying about me and that I would be given spiritually guided truths to cut through the illusions. And I have a screenshot attached in this video. So this came during a time when I was in the middle of being targeted. Before I had fully realized that everything around me was part of an illusion, well, eventually I caught on. So in connection to this, I also have a screenshot from another tarot reader who openly spoke about gaslighting and waterboarding. That was when I realized that the illusions referred to in other readings were in fact the calculated gaslighting and psychological torture of the narcissist. And it's an effort to make me appear crazy and prevent others to keep them in confusion, to prevent them from seeing the truth of the situation. So with this in mind of spiritually guided messages to transcend through the illusions, I hoarded pick a card readings. Note that these readings were from different times and even different years, completely unconnected. That still, for some reason, carry the same core messages. One about a water sign or a Queen of Cups energy who competed for the victim role to protect their reputation. Second, that something was stolen from me, followed by deliberate actions to slow my progress and even entangle me in a legal case to keep me from surpassing this toxic person. Third, that I fought an unjust battle against a group, essentially cyberbullying with individuals mocking who I am. And that these enemies attempted to switch my destiny and perform black magic against me. In one of the Pekka card readings, the message was clear that the toxic person in question was deeply jealous and envious of my creative abilities, and that this person put on a facade pretending to be better, more mature, and spiritually evolved. When in truth, they were extremely critical of me behind the scenes. And the reading revealed that whenever I had a new creative idea, this individual would deliberately sabotage or block it. And that this envy was intense and the toxicity undeniable. And then in my most recent pick a card reading, the message got even deeper. It spoke of those I trusted the most, that they had lied about me, underestimated me, and wanted to keep me hidden. So they spread lies to turn others against me, and that the most manipulative part was that these individuals wanted to hurt me emotionally so that if I reacted, they could point to my response as proof that all their lies were true. So I would like to stress that all this are not from me. I'm just repeating the words that came out from those Pekka card readings that you can see attached in this video. Now, let's say we take these readings as true. I do. So think about it. How is it possible that the exact same traits described in this spiritually guided pick a card readings about a Queen of Cups who did this to me are the very same traits that in those general readings are often assigned to a Queen of Wands energy, which they refer to as their villain. Like jealousy, wanting to be someone else, in short, a copycat. The thief who stole and tried to take another person's destiny. So why would the descriptions line up so perfectly? All I know is that if there is any truth between a general reading and a pick a card reading, considering that there's a screenshot that there are paid tarot readers out there that are spreading specific messages. Well, it's not questionable that it is the pick a card readings that is truth. That mentions about switching destiny. So these karmic tarot readers are trying to switch and project and scapegoat it into their target, Queen of Wands. So they take their own traits or those of their allies and pin them on, let's just say, their target, which is me. It all makes sense that as they accuse me of projecting, well, precisely because they are projecting. So what else? In connection to this, I have explained before how these are all connected to sacrifice. And I have shown you specific ways how they were actually doing it. Screenshot attached. It's weird that in this screenshot, there's a tarot reader portraying a Leo, saying that God is mad at you for trying to sacrifice a water sign. So they were saying that this Leo was trying to sacrifice a water sign. And then with another screenshot, they were saying that in a Scorpio reading, which is a water sign, right? It was a reading about a friend of this water sign is trying to block this water sign. Isn't it ironic? Because this happened to me. And not only that is shown in my pick a card readings, I have shown you their tactics of how they were doing the sacrifice. So once again, in the general readings, it was flipped. So what's the most recent tea from the spiritually guided messages? So this is a pick a card reading that I just did this morning, saying that, oh, this person thinks that you beat them and is jealous of your strength, and that this person is provoking you intentionally and is playing dirty behind the scenes. Their ego is so bruised. Jealous that you are still unharmed and survive as if nothing happened to you, and wants to damage you and suffer for it. Jealous that you're always safe and protected, and that there are some dark work that has been done to you, and this person is now scared because it's backfiring. In this reading, it was also mentioned that this person is a control freak of the narrative. And it mentioned that in this reading, it could be a Sagittarius or a Leo. And I have a hunch that this is a man. You know, what a coincidence, because this next topic is about provoking, in that this only happened yesterday. So as the Pekka card reading mentioned that they are now trying to provoke so that the lies they have spread will look like truth. So understand that they are into psychological warfare. And they're really working hard on it. Playing the victim, pretending to be the good ones, and doing it as covertly as possible so they can frame me as the evil person, the paranoid, unstable, or psychotic. And their aim is to hit where it hurts emotionally, and to trigger reaction while keeping their own hands clean and to avoid accountability. So here's what I mean. Yesterday, I was in a good mood, singing all day. So hours later, someone put out a reference that, oh, the fat lady sings in her tarot reading. So why am I reacting? Because they have access to illegal surveillance, and this is what gang stalking is, right? And hacking, which is how they know what I'm doing in real time. And they know I have been actively trying to lose weight too, and committing to exercise. So, if they can throw in a covert jab, linking singing with calling me a fat lady, they know it will get my attention. Because as the target, I'm already aware of how I'm being monitored in this community. And they know that. So another example, one person used a green gremlin to portray the karmic. And have spoken before about the green psyops and how specific colors are used to covertly harass a target. And the karmic character in their narrative is guilty of course, horrible things. Things, of course, I never did. But by choosing a green gremlin, they're baiting me to react. So why? Because green has always been one of my favorite colors. And I love the Gremlins movie as a child. And just recently made my son watch it last week. And they know that. And of course, I cannot prove any of this. So, they will brush it off as paranoia. But here's the common thread between these two tarot readers. Whether we pinpoint this as a targeting message or not, the common denominator is that they both attack physical appearance. You see, narcissists love to go after your self-esteem, and it is one of their favorite weapons. In truth, these individuals are the real gremlins of the society. What a coincidence. Having that pick a card reading pertaining to this individual who was intentionally provoking me to react, right? But hold up, there's more. As these pick a card readings are resonating wildly, I had a glimpse of what will happen to my enemies who are in that coven. And don't be mad at me. I'm just relaying the message from this pick a card readings. You know, there's a rule in that Final Destination movie that you can cheat death, but you literally have to die and be reborn. And if you're not successful, it will be messy.